thrilled to be here. We've had an amazing semester with lots of activity, and this is kind of the culmination of a lot of work, certainly put forth by each of you and certainly by lots of students. I have talked to classes. I had an amazing journalism class today. So just really proud to see the HU innovate moving forward. So really excited. This pitch competition is designed to support Howard University stakeholders, whether they're alumni, staff, current students, you name it. But how do we begin to invest in ourselves to be able to move the needle forward around entrepreneurship and building wealth in our community? So I am extremely excited about that. Tonight is relatively straightforward and simple. There will be 3 minutes for every entrepreneur to pitch and 3 minutes for the judges to ask questions. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, what am I going to learn in 3 minutes? Well, let me just say, I've had a sneak peek into these slides, and I guarantee you, you are going to learn a lot in that short amount of time from these entrepreneurs. So absolutely excited. I do want to take a pause and thank everybody who applied. I think it is safe to say that COVID has not, the one thing it hasn't done is create more time for people. We are all on way too many Zoom meetings and everything else. So I want to thank everybody who applied. And obviously I want to commend, ironically, all of the ladies who have made it to the finals to be able to pitch. And I pause on that because I am surprised, but I shouldn't be, since we know that Black women are starting businesses 3 times faster than everybody else in this country. So it is wonderful to see that this group is representative. So to help take on this daunting task to figure out who is going to win, first I want to introduce Dr. Gracie Lawson Borders. Dr. Borders. Awesome. So she is the Dean and Professor of the Kathy Hughes School of Communications at Howard University. She is President of the Association of Schools of Journalism and Mass Communication and a member of the Board of Directors for the Association for Education in Journalism and Mass Communication. She is also a member of the Policy Board, Howard Journal of Communications, editorial board member of the International Journal on Media Management, and advisory board member of blackpast.org at the University of Washington. If she has any time beyond her academic life, she is currently working on a book on digital business models and strategies for media organizations in the digital environment. She is also dedicated to organizations like Habitat for Humanity. And so really just happy to have you here, Dean. And I wanted to see if there's any comments you want to make since you have been a leader of this initiative, anything you would like to share.
I'm just saying, excited to be here, excited to see familiar faces, and looking forward to hearing these presentations, these pitches.
Awesome, awesome. And our next judge is Philip Reeves, or Phil Reeves, as we call him. I'm going to read his bio, but probably the most important and significant thing is that he is an HBCU grad from Morehouse University. I'm sorry, Morehouse College. I'm so sorry. So he's represent Atlanta, but he is a DC resident, and thrilled to have him with us. Phil is currently, he is a proven success leader in the world of commercial and public sector ventures. He has provided advisory services for numerous growth-oriented firms all across the country. He previously served as the manager of small business technology and innovation for the government of the District of Columbia. And in his role, he was actually responsible for mentoring over 150 plus small businesses and startups who are pursuing federal R&D funding. So just something to think about for those of you out there. There's many ways to raise money. One is through pitch competitions, one is through grants, equity, debt, and obviously federal funding as well. He also supported a citywide technology initiative and was appointed to the district's Innovation and Technology Inclusion Council. Prior to working in the public sector, Philip was in corporate development as a small government contractor, and he actually began his career in private equity at Lehman Brothers, and he is a Phi Beta Kappa graduate of Morehouse College. So Phil, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here with everybody. Super excited about this.
Awesome. So I have my stopwatch ready. I am going to run the slides for folks. You will have 3 minutes. I will give you, I'll say 30 seconds. I'll try to be unobtrusive, but don't let me scare you. Keep going. When you're ready for the next slide, let me know and I'll advance it. We don't want to have any issues with the slides. The order is going to be Amara, Catherine with a C, Nicole, and then Catherine with a K. So we'll allow you to do your pitches, and then we will allow you to be able to have questions from the panelists, which I think should be very telling in terms of what's happening. And then at the end, we will, as judges, deliberate. So I too am also a judge. We will then deliberate and go off. And then we have a small presentation for those of you who are watching to make sure that you don't feel left out and you get a chance to hear from some entrepreneurs, one of which has probably been through this process of fundraising and talks a little bit about leadership and being able to move this forward. So Amara, I'm going to ask you first to just introduce yourself, tell us your name and your affiliation with Howard. And then as soon as you say and start with the name of your company, then I will start my stopwatch. You're on mute, but I know you're saying some good stuff.
Okay. Hi, you guys. My name is Amara Onkemi. I am the owner or the soon to be owner of Femigist. I am a Howard University grad. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. So me and Phil Reeves are the opposite. I'm from Atlanta, but I went to DC for school and I graduated 2019 and I'm back in Atlanta trying to, I run another business full-time that I started at Howard in my dorm room, and now I'm transitioning into building another business and that I'm eager and excited to let you guys know about. So do I start now?
Cool. Yep.
I love being a successful, beautiful Black woman, but can I be real? Sometimes being a woman sucks. If we didn't already have misogyny and the pay gap to worry about, here comes Mother Nature every month knocking on our door with a monthly package that does not feel as good as the ones that you get from Amazon Prime. Yes, these horrible, horrible things that we call periods. And periods are a pain, literally. Some girls are lucky enough to only get their periods, but every month, my period seems to get me. It's horrible. The cramping, the bloating, the mood swings every single month. And what is a girl to do? When I visit the doctor, they tell me birth control. And I tried that and had horrible side effects. And I just don't want to put all of that synthetic chemicals in my body. Then they suggested pain relievers. And I really tried that. And if you have cramps as bad as mine, there always comes a time during your period when you don't even care about your health anymore. You're just praying to God and say, listen, after I take these 8 pills, it's either I'm going or these cramps are going. And I'm praying that it's the latter. But after years of having harmful ingredients to treat this monthly nuance, I had to explore a healthier option. Introducing Femigist, an all-natural solution to feminine care. Femigist was created in my kitchen after trying every option on the market besides tea. I researched the way that millions of girls with my same problem are addressing this issue. And that's when I came across a herbal recipe that was all natural. I thought to myself, tea? That can't be effective. But besides water, tea is the second most consumed beverage in the world and has tons of medicinal healing properties. So I had nothing to lose, but lo and behold, I had gained everything. I made the tea and poof, my cramps were almost non-existent. No, seriously. And after 3 months of use, I'm having the easiest cycles I have ever had. And that's when I realized that women all across the world, despite age, despite race, despite ethnicity, can benefit from my secret formula. See, I don't have traction yet, nor do I even have a website. But what I have is a solution to an issue that millions of women face literally every month.
30
I
seconds.
want to have a natural line of products such as herbal healing salves, supplements, pads, tampons to help women have a better relationship with our lady parts and its processes. Everyone on this earth, whether directly or indirectly, have been victim to the inconvenience that our periods cause. Yes, even men, I know you all have felt a woman's wrath when she is PMSing. So today, I hope you invest in Femigist. The F in Femigist is to free you from bloating, free you from mood swings, free you from cramps. Get the gist? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You just made it under the wire, but I'm glad that you did. I'm going to give Phil a chance to take it all in and reflect on his own experiences in his own house. But we're going to start with Dean first and any questions she has for you.
Great.
Thank you, Amara. I have a quick question. You talked about, seeking a solution. So right now you're talking about being able to buy bulk product to create. What's going to be your production process?
And that is, so currently I'm producing this for me, my friends, and my family. And it's been a really, really extra process for me to bag the teas and everything. So I've actually found a vendor that provides machinery to do this automatically for me. And so that is my ask for today. So I can invest in machinery that takes the load off of me to automate this process.
Okay, very good.
Awesome. Phil?
I think it's, I like it a lot. I think tea, high margin business. I like the idea of using a co-packer maybe. Feels like there's obvious need there. I'm just curious, has anyone tried this before? Are there competitors in the space? You know, what
I'm
kind of sets you
surprised.
apart?
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, please.
People, I think this is, I was actually surprised that there's not as many big voices in this area, given how effective it was for me and then my friends and family. There are companies that do sell teas geared towards women, but I feel that there's not enough, and that is also an opportunity for me to be the leading voice in this area, especially because women don't automatically think tea's gonna help my cramps. They're thinking, okay, maybe birth control, maybe medicine. And then I tried everything and I was just like, I can't find something with all the products that I want. And I'm like, let me just create my own. I'm sure there are. I found a couple of companies, but that's not their main grab. That's not their main focus. And I want that to be my main focus, my ethos of my company.
Awesome. And I think the last question I have for you is, besides money, because money is a means to an end, what other types of support do you need to get your business going?
I definitely want to be able to streamline my business, like mentorship. So for instance, when I'm buying these bulk herbs, I can't buy it at the price I would like to buy it as, because they saying that I need a reseller's permit or like a tax exempt. So I don't know how to do stuff like that. And I kind of want guidance on doing taxes, because and even as something as small as that, a lot of people don't know the answers to that. And I don't know the answers to that. And even being able to, okay, maybe I live in Georgia. There's a lot of land in Georgia. Maybe having my own plant and growing these herbs in-house. So just the processes, and then the back end, like, okay, taxes, just guidance and mentorship if possible.
Awesome. Any last questions from Dean Gracie or Phil before we end?
I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you very much. I
Great job.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Well done. Well done. So next up, we have Catherine from Visibility in STEM. And I'm going to ask you as well, before I start the clock, I'm going to pull up your slides, but feel free to introduce yourself and tell us how you're connected to Howard.
Okay. So my name is Catherine Quinlan. I'm actually assistant professor, faculty in Howard. And I just launched my business this summer. So, I'm very excited to share it with you.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have you, and I am prepared to start whenever you are.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so my business is Visibility in STEM. And imagine a world where a Black mother had difficulty finding chapter book series for her son. Well, that is the world we live in right now. And it's becoming more and more difficult as he grows older, and he's 8. So in response, I created a chapter book series, Keystone Passage. And my first book, To Africa and Back, is an adventurous book about a boy, Cliff, who from Washington, D.C., and his cousins, Monty, Chandra, Keisha from different parts of the US, who visited grandma in South Carolina, and their visit turned out to be more adventurous than they thought, where their find transports them to ancient and modern Africa, where they'll learn about African heritage and use science, history, and their wits to find a way back. So my mission is to normalize Black narratives and perceptions and images and stories. Oh, you can next. And my book is available in different places in paperback, Kindle, ebook, EPUB, and different places. And I do have 3 reviews on Amazon right now. I mean, written reviews. But my favorite, next slide, is the responses I got from parents who were in my son's class. One parent texted me when she received a book and she said, oh, hey, her daughter said, oh, hey, there's a girl who looks like me. Then she flips through the book and finds a page with a picture of the tent. And she said, oh, cool, they have a tent. She disappears. And she texted me a picture of her daughter sitting there just reading the book. And another parent texted me when she got it and said, excited over character illustrations. And then when my son was in his class, one of his classmates told the librarian that her favorite book that weekend was my book. So I texted the parent, she said, hi, yep, that happened. We're still reading it. The girls love it too. I do too. And she talked about how representation matters. So those are my favorite. But COVID for me has really made it more accessible for reaching parents all over. Next slide. And as far as financing, I really would like to scale this up. And so I would need financing for illustration, an editor, ordering more ISBNs. I've been pulled into parenting education, which kind of is an opportunity for me because of my involvement in diversity training at my son's school. And so I'd like to expand this to an online platform and have logo design and just really network and focusing on advertising and scaling up. Currently, my goal is to, I'm shooting for 5 to 10, at least 5 by next summer. And it's the advantage for me is because I'm pulling in science and other areas of science and other areas related to education. I think it's attractive to teachers for use in the classroom. And so that's what I am looking forward to.
Awesome time and so perfect. Thank you so much. I'm going to again start with Dean and see if you have any questions.
Thank you, Catherine. That was very good. Thank you. So what you're looking at with the chapter books, you're looking at what grade when they start to get in chapter books? I have to recall and pull back on that one. About what grade do they start doing chapter books?
They start around 2nd grade.
About 2nd grade.
And some start around 1st grade, 2nd. My son started around 1st, but is still continuing in 2nd grade and older.
Okay. And you're looking to have a series of books that they can have some content illustration chapter books in the STEM area to connect to that visibility.
Right. And really in addition to that, situating it with everyday narratives.
Okay.
That they're familiar with and that they recognize. Because they have those chapter book series, they were all white in their book and their shelves, but no chapter book series representing Blacks. And the ones I found don't go past book 4.
Okay.
The few that I found, and the few that I found, they were all about school. And so I really felt like I wanted to, and then also when I was reading my son's books that were in white, I started seeing African narratives in there. And I was like, but a different face. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And so, I wanted to give, the narratives a different face. Okay. And I think it's important because I see my son's reaction.
Okay.
And I talk to teachers who, who talk about, how much it matters.
Okay, good. No, thank you. I just wanted to make sure it was a series that you want to go to. Okay.
Yeah, series. Sorry.
Okay. Phil, do you have any questions?
Sure. I mean, as a father of a 20-month-old who spends a lot of time doing story times, I can appreciate this in a very real way. Curious what the kind of marketing strategy is. How do you get this in the hands of parents? I always find discovering books to be a bit of a challenge.
Okay. A good question. And so from taking taking some classes with a storytelling, best-selling author, one of the things that is really key in this case is popularity as well as networking. And so what I figure my goal is really to network with, since I do professional development with teachers, I'd like to integrate it into my other work. Where I create videos and animation in my other work. And so I'd like to tie it in so that it becomes connected and people see it. So my hope is that to reach parents through, I did one webinar inviting parents. And so I'm hoping to have those workshops. And the other thing is, because I want to launch this alongside an online platform where I can offer parent education and teacher workshop as part of my business.
Makes sense. That teacher channel, I think, will be good. Great. Well, I appreciate the content, the comments.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, you did a great job, and I appreciate it. So thank you for your presentation. I want to take a quick moment here just to pause briefly before we go into the next set of presenters and acknowledge a couple of folks. First, I want to be able to, again, welcome everybody to the Bison Pitch 2020 competition. I want to acknowledge Dean Gracie Lawson and the School of Communications at Howard for their support of this, both financially and programmatically. I also want to acknowledge Vistage, who is also a partner this year in the Bison Pitch 2020 competition. So we are thrilled to have them as part of the team and look forward to finding ways to continue to work with them and supporting HU entrepreneurs that are currently enrolled or those that are alumni or otherwise. So really want to give an acknowledgement to Vistage as well. So we're going to keep going and keep it moving. And so I want to have next, we have Nicole. And Nicole, while I pull your slides up, why don't you tell us about yourself and your connection to Howard before we get started?
Thank you so much, everyone, for having me here. I am a double bison, as they say. I graduated from undergrad in 2006 from the College of Fine Arts, and I also am currently enrolled in Howard University's School of Divinity.
Love it. I love it. Well, we are excited to hear from you. So when you are ready to start, I will start the timer.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
So first, I want to paint a picture. If you ladies and our gentlemen on the line, imagine if you were never able to go and get your hair done. Imagine if your barber, Mr. Reeves, just went out of business and you never were able to get a haircut or a lineup, right? Or ladies, if your favorite lip balm went out of stock and you never were able to get access to your favorite body butter, right? We all have a deep, deep connection to beauty. And I have personally made beauty my life's work. I have been in the beauty industry for over 11 years, and the name of my company is Beauty Content Studio. I founded Beauty Content Studio in 2014, shortly after I left my full-time job, made the leap to full-time entrepreneurship, and currently, we reach over 20,000 beauty professionals around the world through our online platform. I have an online membership called Beauty Content Pro, and our pro members receive social media content, stock photos, and digital marketing training every single month. And I created this membership because so many of the women in beauty who I knew either through my profession, working in the industry 11 years, I would hear over and over again from small business owners like your local hairstylist or your local entrepreneur making body butters and selling them at the holiday market every year, that they were overwhelmed trying to find resources and trying to learn digital and content marketing. Next slide, please. Okay, and so what I've done over the past 4 years is I've built an online audience. You can see here my customer traction to date. We have a very healthy and active online audience, including 20,000 followers on Instagram and 6,500 email subscribers who get our messaging and our content every single week and sometimes every single day, right? And some of the lessons I've learned is that there is a huge need for digital marketing training, particularly among African American beauty entrepreneurs. The number one question I am asked is, Nicole, how do I start growing my business online? And one of the competitive advantages that I've been able to leverage in growing the business is I have a sizable online audience and a
30
deep
seconds.
understanding of the beauty industry. Next slide, please. And so one of the things, actually, can you go to 2 slides over? The proposed use of funds. And so if awarded the HU Bison grant, I would definitely use the funding to continue supporting beauty industry entrepreneurs who have particularly been hit hard by COVID-19. Every single beauty salon, spa, esthetician, manicurist was forced to close her business at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. And these women do not learn digital marketing in cosmetology schools. And so I would use the funding to create more resources to help this community build their business and pivot online.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I appreciate that. Dean Lawson, we're going to start with you again if you have any questions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I guess, again, another great presentation. So part of what you're doing is looking at this opportunity to help those. We had a quick slide go by COVID-19, so I know there was going to be some conversation about people struggling through that. So you want to train them with some work on digital marketing. What do you think that will help them better be able to do?
Excellent question. Thank you for the opportunity. One of the things that I learned during the pandemic is that these ladies are hungry for ways to create income online. If you think about your traditional hairstylist, or you think about the woman who does your nails or your lashes or your skincare in her spa, she is used to a one-to-one business model. I have been able to help them understand online marketing and online sales funnels. For example, if you go to your hairstylist and she sells, let's say she sells retail. So she has hair products that you can buy in the salon when you get your hair done. I have been able to help them figure out how to set up an online shopping cart, an online email list where they can connect with their customers online and get products and sell them using digital platforms. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I launched a free online training. It was 5 days long. They could come totally free. I had 922 women go through that training. It was totally free, just as my way of serving the community, because I saw that these women were literally like a deer in headlights. They had only ever done in-person beauty services or sold their products at like local fairs, or, you know, in the church service, they pop in their trunk and selling beauty products, and they are hungry for online training.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Phil.
So I mean, I appreciate this on so many levels. I'm curious what percentage of your business is, I'll call it body butters and products, and then what percentage is services?
My business is 100% services.
No, I mean, I'm sorry, the folks you're training.
Oh, okay. We have a mix. I can get those numbers to you. I do a survey of my paid pro members. So all of them take a online survey. The majority of them are beauty service professionals who want to either start selling retail, meaning they want to become an affiliate of a major beauty product line. They want to do maybe a multi-level marketing business, but they have no idea how to get started online.
Wow. Interesting. Fascinating business.
Awesome. And then in the 30 seconds we have left, I'm going to ask you, what additional assistance do you need besides money?
Woo! We're going to be here till Christmas. If I answer that, I need help. I need hands. I need people with heart who want to serve. I currently have 2 contractors, one who does graphic design for me, and I have a community manager. So my community manager, Crystal, she is answering questions in the communities, answering DMs, answering emails that come in, support tickets, supporting our 65 paying clients. However, I do need a tech VA. So my website, my funnels, my email list, my Instagram page, my Facebook setup, my Facebook ads, I do all of that myself. All of it myself. So I would love a tech VA and just additional hands on the plow to really help serve the women in our community.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. It was great hearing from you. So thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. And last but certainly not least is our other Catherine with a K. So while I tee up your slides, Catherine, why don't you just tell us, give your full name and what is your affiliation with Howard University?
Ooh. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for having me here today. Before I introduce myself, I would like to say a bit of a trigger warning. My presentation will mention sexual assault and rape, not in like graphic detail or anything to that effect, but I do want everyone to be warned and prepared as much as you can will be in this space. My name is Catherine Gilliard. I'm a journalism major at Howard University. It's just who we are and our proximity to Howard, our relation to Howard University. Yes,
Yep.
Journalism major at Howard University. Journalism, my major at Howard University. So, okay, yes.
I can tell you're a little nervous, so just take a deep breath. The beauty about this is you are amongst family. It's all family. This is one big community, so it's all family. So there's no such thing as making a mistake. So I will start the clock now, and you have 3 minutes whenever you are ready.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I'm having technical difficulty. 1 second. Okay.
No problem.
Okay, I'm ready to start now.
Okay.
Sexual assault happens every 73 seconds in America. On average, that number looks like about 400,000 victims. For every Black woman that reports rape, at least 5 Black women don't report. More than 20% of Black women are raped during their lifetimes and are assaulted at a higher percentage overall among women. And 1 in 5 Black women are survivors of rape and will be in their lifetime. Stood next to 4 other Black women, and I give validity to that statistic twice over. My freshman year of college, I was assaulted by a serial rapist. The after of the sexual assault was the hardest part of my survival journey. I was prepared only with stigmas and what I've known about sexual assault, and honestly prepared to cut my survival short. Before I returned back to school, I was back home and I went to church. And my pastor, who was privy to my experience, announced it to the all-Black Southern Baptist Church, stood up and announced what had happened to me. And forgive me if my smiling seems weird, but he announced it to the church and he instructed all the women in this all-Black church to stand up, file in front of me, and come up and give me hugs and words of encouragement. And next thing I knew, I was like, stood in front of 60 Black women in front of me of all walks of life and Blackness. And I stood there in that, but also as those 60 women came up and hugged me, I kept standing as over 40 of them whispered like thank yous and I love you. And they're never before heard stories in my ear. Survivors Instead is a nonprofit organization that exists to bridge the gap between women of color who are survivors of sexual assault and the resources that make survival possible. Next slide, please. So our cluster and market opportunity, the main thing that Survivors Instead does is making sure that women of color are put first. They're believed. We invest and make sure that the resources are there for them and they're sustainable, and the accessibility is there. Research has showed that the disparity that exists between women of color who experience sexual assault and their white counterparts, the disparities and the gaps are so huge, but the resources aren't there. And when they're there, they're not equitable and they're not sufficient. and survivors instead exist to stand in that gap, in that market. And so that's the base of who we aim to, who we're serving. And that looks like the support systems, all levels, the families and friends and secondary survivors of assault, public health and education, advocacy, legal systems like police and lawyers and judges, and further political systems like policy and law enforcement and advocacy. Next slide, please.
And you have 30 seconds.
So some key milestones to date, while Survivors Instead is not yet an official business, we have been doing work in the meantime with the resources that we've had, and I've had both personally and also as a business. We've started a support group. We've developed security protocol and blueprint for the security of the network instead support network, which is the most important thing we've done. We've successfully trained over 5 members to be advocates. And right now we're in the process of expanding. And so we're looking for resources that help us do that, but whether it be asking financial or advisement and structural resources. And that's where we are now looking into an expansion. Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you sharing. Dare I say, as a fellow survivor, I'm grateful for you and for your work. Dean, I'm going to start with you if there are questions.
Yes, thank you, Catherine. Thank you for sharing and for starting this nonprofit. So you had a very clear that what you want to do, and one of your first steps is you want to get officially established as a business?
Yes.
The first 3 months? Okay.
Yes, so like getting all of our like branding, sites, licensing. Did it go away? Oh no, she's changing. Okay, like licensing, getting all of that official. We had some moments in like some advising or moments where we started and stopped. Where we were on track to start getting our like business IDs and permits and things of that nature, but there was so much to learn in that space, and I thought it better to take the time to learn how to do it and then move forward. And so and now that we've learned everything and I have like my to-do list, I'm ready to like make everything official and to go forward now.
Okay, good. And one quick follow-up question. You mentioned partnering, so you will look for, will it be local groups, schools, communities to kind of know who you are to help you, market the business? Mm-hmm.
Yes. So yeah, that is a large part of like our marketing and our growth strategy. Well, it's not to say Survivors Instead exists to stand in that gap, but in that gap, there are other people. There's SANE, there's RAIN, these like huge nonprofit or other nonprofit organizations that actually are doing the work, but they aren't doing the work for us and recognizing everyone. So in partnering with them, we get to take advantage of their partnerships and their networks and their resources without completely reinventing the wheel and starting from scratch.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. No, I appreciate you sharing, and I also appreciate that you're trying to say you want to make sure that Black women have this nonprofit can give them a place. So good. Thank you.
Phil.
Obviously, you're a phenomenal storyteller. I think that we all picked up on that. Everyone's just kind of sucked into the screen listening. I'm curious, sort of, take us out 5-10 years. What does this look like? Paint the picture for us a bit.
It looks like Survivors Instead being the gold standard for informed education around sexual assault, not just with women of color, but definitely including women of color. But in response to and looking at the after of sexual assault, the research protocols, the training protocols, the like sensitivity training for Survivors Instead to be a gold standard, like in that in 5 to 10 years, like, oh, hey, you have this this company you're starting, like, are you sensitivity trained? Do you have you're diverse, what do you have Black women there? That you need their training. This is what you need to go and do. But also for our survivors and for like our clients and our members, in 5 to 10 years, this for the after and for survival to be a lot less lonely, and for people to be a lot more prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
And the last question I have for you, Catherine, is I know that this is, first of all, it's very brave of you to come forward. It's a hard thing and it's a stigma in many communities. Can you talk about what you've been doing so far to actually get people engaged?
This is like one of the biggest things I struggle with because it's hard, like even in my own family, coming to them and talking to them after like the church incident. My like family, why are you so angry? I'm like, Pastor Howard just made me stand up in the church and told all these people this, and I don't know these people. And I think I started with like, I was like, well, I'm gonna make a post on Facebook, and I'm gonna make these grand brochures and all these surveys. But I understand that it's not just like the stigma, but it's sensitive, and it's something that people hold dear, and they've held it so long for survival. It's become a part of them and something they just carry. So it started with just having conversations with people, with my elders, and I think the very first place I started with was sharing my story. And I found that everywhere I've shared my story, at least one person has come and told me, hey, I'm a survivor too. I've never told anyone. Or how did you get the courage to tell people? Or this happened to somebody I know, and I love this person, I care about them, but I don't know how to help. Like, where do I start? Do you have any advice? So I've started with sharing my story.
That is awesome. Well, thank you all. I want to thank Catherine, Nicole, Catherine, and Amara for your amazing presentations. I'm going to ask you all to hang right here. The three of us judges are going to go off. We're going to put our phones on, our audio on mute, our videos on mute. We're going to talk and come back with our final decisions. And in the interim, we're going to, again, show a video of a fellow African-American, ironically female entrepreneur, in terms of how she got to where she is. Her name is Amanda, and she is with Fiveable. And it is a venture-backed company, but she had a long journey along the way and has learned some lessons. So hopefully it's helpful to you and to everybody else. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. I have the pleasure to know you, but the rest of the world doesn't. So can you introduce yourself and your company called Fiveable?
Yeah, so my name is Amanda Doemerall. I'm based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm the founder of Fiveable, which is a social learning platform for students and teachers to engage and connect and learn together, even when they're far apart.
Which is now the new normal. So
Exactly.
perfect timing. Tell us a little bit about the company, when it started, and probably more so a little about your team, how big it is, and what are some of the key roles?
Yeah, so Fiveable began a little more than 2 years ago. I was a teacher in Oakland before that. And then after I had left my classroom, some former students had emailed me like, Ms. D, we're going to fail. They're freaking out about, their current teacher. And then I started live streaming, and those live streams have turned into much more than that. We've gone beyond just streaming and have included trivia games and study guides and community forums, and really just thinking about, at first it was thinking about what does learning looks like after school, just outside of school hours. And now it's like, what does learning look like at home? What does it look like just outside of school barriers? Like, how can kids create content and share it with each other, and how can they learn from teachers from anywhere? And so now we have a team of 5 full-time and 4 part-time, and they are just some of the most amazing people I know, just like bubbling with passion. So we have Austin, who's our CTO, and he's based out of Chicago, and he works closely with Aaron, who's another software developer. And then Tan is also my roommate. So we have like a Fiveable house, and Tan is our like product officer. He really focuses on design and SEO and building community. He wears like 3 different hats right now, and is just incredible with that. And then we also have one other SEO specialist on our team as well, LG, who's based in Chicago.
And it sounds like, aside from the Fiveable house, which I'm not sure is replicable across all businesses, it sounds like you, and what I think is the norm for many early stage entrepreneurs, is that people are working remotely. So talk a little bit about how you manage the team being all over the country.
Yeah, so actually the Fiveable house started because, and this could actually be replicable for other founders. I had worked on a political campaign that had done a fellow house like this. And when I was very first starting out, I didn't have any money to bring a team on. And I was trying to figure out, like, how can I make this work? I had some money from an early investor, and I needed to stretch that out. And I couldn't really, I couldn't attract people with a big paycheck. And so what I did is I wrote up an article about myself and really about the vision and the passion of it. And then I posted that everywhere. And the idea was that I wanted to find a group of people who were willing to move to a city of our choice and move into the house and like live and work together. And I figured I could find a couple of other millennials that were not happy with their jobs or, couldn't pay rent and that would be willing to do it. Like, why not? Take a shot. That's exactly what happened. So Austin and Tan, both of them I met on Reddit. Tan dropped everything. He lived in upstate New York. He moved to Philadelphia where the original Viable House was. And so just generally, like when you're building a team and you're early on, there's a lot of ways to do it. There's a lot of ways to be creative, to get people in and helping you and supporting you. It doesn't just have to be a traditional like hiring route. So that was just like how I did it. And so since then,
Airbnb, that's what
yeah, exactly. It ended up being like a startup, like, I don't know, kind of frat house for a little bit, but, but it was like, it's like the, Silicon Valley houses that you can imagine, but it was just different. It was like, we were focused on the impact of what we were doing. And yeah, I don't know. So that was my strategy for building the team. And so since then, like we have hired out a few other folks like Aaron, like LG, that are remote, that came in later, that don't live in the house. Although Aaron did live in the house for a little bit.
Okay.
And I think developing a lot of the remote ways to connect, we've developed those especially for our content creator community. So beyond just the part-time and full-time folks, we also have, I think we're up to like 170 teachers and students that stream, that write, that are part of our team. They're contractors. And so from early on, it was always important that we built community for the whole team, that everyone was always a part of it, and that the transparency was always there. That was part of the relationship building. And so Slack was our original space to do that. All content creators are on our Slack channel. The whole team uses it. So what that means is that, one, everyone is very much connected and part of a lot of different decisions. And it also creates these like focus groups that we have, where when we develop a feature, we can share it with them first. We can share wireframes with them. We can share anything. And it also creates like, they have become friends, like there's teachers, there's students that are it's like the cutest thing, the students, like the intern channel is always like popping at, 2 a.m. and I'm just like, go to bed. So Slack is definitely the centerpiece of our like tech stack for remote. And then we use other things too. We'll use like Zoom a lot. We have all of our meetings on Zoom and we kind of structure it out. And then we just started using Asana to like really keep track of who's doing what and when and like all those different pieces. And that's actually been going really well. And then, like some of the other like tools to collaborate, like Google Docs or like Figma. We use Figma a lot for design. That's what everything that we do is designed in, and that allows for like a lot of people to design together.
So it sounds like there's tools, but I would imagine the crux of this is really something you said around the transparency of information, so that people feel like they know what their role is, they understand any interdependencies of roles, and they can see, and I guess kind of hold people accountable across those lines. Is that fair? Yeah, exactly. So on the full-time and part-time side, we have basically 3 teams. We have product, we have growth, and we have content. And most of us are on more than one team, but we pretty much operate with those 3 teams. And then within those teams, we work in like weekly sprints and different projects. And so each week can look different for different people, depending on like what we're working on. But for the most part, those are sort of the ways that it kind of structures out. And so we'll meet at the beginning of the week to sort of set up the like I'll meet with like between Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, each team has a meeting and they set up the next week. And then on Fridays, we do like a whole team happy hour where we share like how the week went and just like generally how we doing. And something else that I do too is I share at the beginning of the week, I also share it out with all content creators, even folks who have applied and have not yet been accepted. I send out a weekly email to just the whole team that is like, here's what's going on. Here's where some of our like learning stats last week
Here's some new product features we shipped. Here's, some new content we posted, and here's some things that are coming up next week. So it's like everyone knows who's doing what, or they know that new things are happening, and stand-ups help for that too. So like every day, everyone on the team posts on the stand-up channel, just like, here's what I did, here's what's in progress, here's blockers. And we included the interns to that too. So it's like, it's really nice because then we have these, all the way from the CTO that's posting like, really high level stuff. For me, I'll post like, I met with this investor, or I did this like on the business side. And then the interns will post like what they did, but they can see everything that I just did today too.
And one of the things, as I mentioned to you when I asked if you would do this, is that the team unanimously was like, yep, she's the perfect person for this. And obviously we're talking about leadership, and part of leadership is how you communicate. And one of the things when you were in our program, we highlighted were your investor updates. So it seems to me you've always had this thing about transparency. Talk to me about why that's important to you, and before we started recording, how that's actually manifested in a pretty positive way now.
Yeah, so I think for me, it's always just been kind of like who I am. And I think like as I started Fiveable, I needed to build the business and the like CEO role to be like as authentic as humanly possible. And that was always what felt right. And so being really transparent, it's just sort of, I think it's important because I think there are a lot of people that can help you, that want to help you, that want to interact with you and what they're doing, and ways that they can support you, whether it's just amplifying your message or connecting you with people or investing. And so that's how I started. Sending out investor updates was something that I was taught from Generator. And at first I was really scared about it because, I just felt like I felt like I was being transparent with some of my close people, but then bringing into, more folks to that list it's scary, because then you have to be really honest about what's going on. But what I found is that I think I was waiting until I was successful to tell people what was going on. And then I realized it's not about the end, it's about the whole journey. This is it. And so being really honest about, here's what happened this month. Here are some highlights. Here's some lowlights. I think it is just really important, because I think part of what I know my responsibility is as a founder, especially as a woman of color, is to show others what this looks like. And if I'm pretending that this was easy, that's not fair to everybody else. It's not easy, and it is, the roller coaster is real, and it holds me accountable when I share things too. And so I send out those monthly updates to investors, to basically anyone I know. I have that email list of just I went through my LinkedIn, my Facebook. I mean, I have my grandmother on there, my former students, mentors I've met. I just put them all on there because I figured why not? Someone knows someone always, right? So, plus, my grandmother loves hearing the updates. So because I did that, it's now been a year of sending one every month. I have been able to build these relationships with people and really keep them updated every single month on what's happening. And now that the world is changing, now when I'm raising money or I need something, people come through. People are reaching out to me. They respond to the email, or they will just reach out randomly and say I've been getting your updates. And sometimes I'll even forget that they were even on there, but it pays off. It has really paid off. I found investors because of it. I found partners. I found people who were just willing to do different projects together. So I don't know. I'm a huge proponent of transparency and writing things, for everyone to see.
Awesome. Well, Amanda is an amazing entrepreneur, and she has done some amazing things. And I think it's in line with this competition because she's running Fiveable, which is a platform designed to help high school students take AP courses. And we know, again, she was there pre-COVID, and as you can imagine, her sales have just completely spiked. So hopefully people found that helpful. So I want to, again, thank all of you for doing this. We know that, it was scary for some, first time for others, but thank you. I certainly want to thank our judges for their work and what they have done in terms of being here and certainly given up part of their evening. I want to thank Vistage as well in terms of them getting part of this and helping to support this process. And the reality is that because they did that, this has actually become a very interesting and I think hopefully successful competition for everyone. So the first thing that I want to be able to say is the beauty about this is that everybody is a winner. We have been able to secure funding from both Howard University as well as Vistage. And so I'm happy to say that all of you are going to take home prizes. And so we're thrilled to be able to do that and really want to thank Vistage for making that happen. Everyone did an amazing job. And I will announce the winners and allow you all to have your reactions. And then you will certainly hear from me and the dean via email tonight and tomorrow. But again, just want to thank each of you for sharing your personal stories and having the bravery to come here. I want to thank Phil for taking time, particularly as he mentioned he has a baby. So thank your wife as well. We know how that works. I want to thank Dean Lawson Borders for joining us and everybody else. So without further ado, the $1,000 prize goes to Catherine with a C. So we congratulate you. We are really excited about what you're doing and know that we can provide not just the money, but one of the reasons why I asked what you do outside of money is that we are here to help. There is a ton of resources behind this. And so we're happy to connect you with some folks. We have some amazing entrepreneurs that have written books as well and gotten it out there. So really excited to work with you. $2,000 goes to Catherine with a K. So we are thrilled to be able to support you. Love the work you're doing. Really appreciate your bravery and leadership in the space. So congratulations to you. The $3,000 prize goes to Amara. So congratulations. You came strong. You made Phil stand up straight and pay attention. But congratulations. And hopefully that will be useful to you as you get your business started and break out the box. And again, here to help you with some amazing entrepreneurs like Honeypot, if you've heard of them, who have entered the feminine space. So happy to make those connections. And then last but not least, that means Nicole. Miss Nicole, you have won $4,000. And we are thrilled to be able to help you. Yes, be excited. People. Be excited. We are thrilled to be able to help you and your business to continue to grow and really just want to congratulate all of you. On behalf of myself and Phil from 1863 Ventures and certainly from as the entrepreneurship chair, I want to thank all of you and really extend a special thanks to Dean Lawson Borders, who I'm going to ask to close this out for this privilege for me to be a part of the HU community and to be able to just do this and have an opportunity to continue to spark Black entrepreneurship. So thank you all. Congratulations, Catherine, Amara, and Nicole. Thank you all. And Dean Lawson, you want to take us out?
Us out with, again, congratulations. You all gave amazing presentations. And most importantly, your passion came across, your passion and commitment. You all have very diverse things that you are approaching, areas of service or product. And I think that is very meaningful and pointed. And really, I was just typing congratulations to all of you and saying we look forward to seeing all of this come to fruition. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
you guys.
you. I'm speechless.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that is awesome. So I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. I hope this has brightened up your day as we go into the holiday season and know it's been really hard for everybody just being on Zoom. So I look forward when campus reopens to seeing all of you, even those alumni who come on back to homecoming, because it will not be the same on Zoom. But again, thank you all. Thank you, Dean Lawson. Thank you, Phil. Thank you to Harry and Vistage. Wish you all success, and it is certainly not the last time that you will see me. So I will follow up with you all soon. Wishing you a good night, and I would say stay safe and stay sane. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Good
Congratulations.
night, everybody.